road. The earlier you seek help, the shorter and easier it will be because there will be less of a mess to deal with. Contrary to popular notion, counseling is not just for crazy people. It's for anyone who can benefit from an outside objective expert perspective to help them enjoy their little lives to the fullest. I am Dr. Phil.
Beautiful.
And I am Claire. Sending heartfelt greetings your way from beautiful St. Lucia. Whether it's morning, evening, or night, where you are, we welcome you. To our first-time listeners or viewers, starting right here in St. Lucia, the diaspora, and the globe at large, we are elated that you have chosen to join us. Dr. Phil and myself are here to touch your life in a meaningful way.
That's right.
Our mission is simple: to equip you with the tools, the truth, and the encouragement you need to live your life to the fullest. We know for a fact that it's not always sunshine, right?
Oh, no.
And you may be experiencing some turbulent times. Well, healing is a journey, my friend. Sometimes gentle, sometimes not so gentle. But be encouraged. Every step you take forward matters. It's a new day, filled with new beginnings, new choices, and yes, new challenges. But you're not alone. Stay tuned to Rev Up 95.9 FM, as this may be the beginning of your healing process. And we're honored to take that journey with you.
Thank you, Claire. Don't forget, this morning we'll be speaking about this principle called forgiveness. Psychologists, and by this I mean those concerned with the way people's thinking influence behavior, they define forgiveness as a deliberate decision to release feelings of anger, resentment, or vengeance towards someone who has hurt you. From the ancient Greeks through the Hebrew and Christian Bibles to the present day, forgiveness has typically been regarded as a personal response to having been injured or wronged, or as a condition one seeks or hopes is bestowed upon one for having wronged someone else. Now, the Oxford English Dictionary defines forgivable, forgive, as that which may be forgiven, pardonable, excusable, referring thereby to the quality of deserving to be forgiven. This sense is illustrated in Jesus' appeal, God forgive them, for they know not what they do. If you want to reference that, Luke 23:34. And this suggests that ignorance is sometimes a condition that negates our tempers, capability, rendering wrongdoers forgivable. Notwithstanding, the association with excusing conditions, forgiving is not, strictly speaking, equivalent to excusing. Keep that in mind. Don't forget, at the end of the day, we will be asking you what stood out for you. And these are very important points for you to leave with. Notwithstanding the association with excusing conditions, forgiving is not, strictly speaking, equivalent to excusing. For wrongdoing that is excused entirely, there is nothing to forgive, since wrongs that are fully excused are not blameworthy or culpable. Here we have it, folks. The principle of forgiveness has ancient roots, appearing first in the Old Testament with Joseph's brothers asking for his forgiveness, and later in the Babylonian Talmud, and with Jesus Christ's teaching in the New Testament, which expanded on the concept of releasing someone from an obligation or a debt. So with this, let's say the Greek word for forgiveness, aphiemi, means to let go or release. The broader concept of forgiveness also emerged in ancient Greek philosophy, particularly in Aristotle's discussion of anger and temperaments, citing the virtue of forgiveness as a rational response to wrongdoing, that is, a voluntary cancellation of a debt. Now, I mentioned the Talmud. The Talmud is a key Jewish text of law, ethics, and spiritual wisdom based on scripture. The Talmud is one of the most important and complex texts in Jewish tradition.
Yes,
Now-
so Phil, before you go on, in summary, we can take the following away.
Okay?
The underlying idea of forgiveness often involves releasing someone from its obligation to pay for a wrong they committed. That means you set the person free from the debt
That's right.
they have committed. And number two, forgiveness involves not holding on to resentment and voluntarily relinquishing any claim to compensation for the hurt or loss one has suffered. So there's no room for resentment if you have forgiven someone. It involves that. So when you're embarking on forgiving someone, you have to keep those things in mind.
Yes, Clay, it's very important. I'm thankful for the summary. Persons quoting Jesus Christ in particular would say that he forgave people on the cross, so we must forgive people. A husband or wife being unfaithful in a relationship would just jump on this. The Bible says that you must forgive in spite of the person hurting. The person have not processed the injury. They would demand, based on scripture, and that's falsely, that the hurting individual forgive no matter what.
So you're actually releasing the person from the obligation to pay for the wrong they committed.
That's right. Now, it is very important to highlight the following, Claire. Very important. Forgiveness is not necessarily the same as excusing a wrong. Keep that in mind. Excused wrongs are not considered blameworthy. For example, if a child damages something from a parent, a 4 or 5 year old, you don't forgive the child. That is excusable. You understand that? So that's why we can say excused wrongs are not considered blameworthy, whereas forgiven wrongs still acknowledge guilt even while the offender is released from its demand. For the followers of Jesus Christ, here are the instructions given as revealed in the Gospel of Luke chapter 17. You'd want to follow that carefully because members of the public in St. Lucia, overseas, the diaspora, the globe at large, quite a number turn to this teaching of Jesus and would say to the offended, Jesus said to forgive me, so you have to forgive me. Now let's see what he taught, since we are quoting him. Jesus said to his disciples, things that cause people to sin are bound to come. In summary, offenses, Claire, welcome. Human beings dealing with one another, 8 billion people on the planet. We work with people. People have different ways of seeing things, understanding things, coping with things. Offenses, welcome. We must acknowledge that. But he went on, woe to that person through whom they come. So there is no latitude here, Claire, for deliberately hurting people. Imagine somebody would rip somebody, and with some biblical knowledge we say, well, the Bible says you must forgive me. You can see how horrendous that would sound to people. You saying the Bible say and not knowing the teaching of Jesus Christ would just jump on that. So here it is, woe to that person through whom it come. It went on, it would be better for him to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around his neck than for him to cause one of these little ones to sin or to be offended. So now here comes the caveat to his followers. Watch yourself. Next step, watch yourself. In Creole, veille call. If your brother sins or offends you, rebuke him. You see the chronological development, Kina?
Mm-hmm.
Rebuke him. We have not reached forgiveness yet. And if he repents, that is, he shows signs of a change of heart. That's his thinking faculties, feeling faculties, or she, that is, I must not forget that we're speaking in general here, and a change of these thinking, feeling, and decision-making faculties that would result in a change of behavior. That's repentance. So we have, if your brother offends you, sins against you, rebuke him first. Go to him. You did so and so to him. It hurts me. If he repents, forgive him.
So there's a possibility you may bring it to the person's attention and they may not see the need to say, I'm sorry.
There we go. So, Kina, do you see the teachings that are often referred to? Jesus said, you must forgive.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
So, with Jesus's principle well in mind, now we are ready to move on.
Okay.
All right. So, when we're speaking about repentance, that's from Jesus's perspective. And all the major religions of the world, they respect the teachings of Jesus, and they make reference to forgiveness from his perspective. Now, psychiatrist Stephen Marmer suggests, this is beautiful, I love this. While we are all familiar with the word forgiveness, it is actually inadequate in describing a very complex concept. The learned Dr. Marmer went on to document that forgiveness actually implies 3 different things, each of which applies to distinct situations and produces various results. The 3 types of forgiveness are, number 1, exoneration. Take that. What did I say, Kina?
Exoneration.
Beautiful. I hope you all are listening to Kina. Forbearance and release. Now, this is the one that we need to really keep our hearts on, not the HATS. Can you tell the listening audience the 3 again, Claire?
Okay, we're speaking about exoneration,
Yes.
forbearance, and release.
Good. And this is coming from Dr. Marmer. However, he went on, before I move on with Dr. Marmer, or Dr. Marmer's explanation, let me add a 4th type of forgiveness. One-up or false forgiveness. I hope you get it. The 4th, one-up or false forgiveness. So let's deal with exoneration, and I will turn to Claire to help us with that.
Okay, so this is what we generally have in mind when we think of the word forgiveness. Exoneration essentially means that the slate is completely wiped clean, completely, and the relationship is restored to its previous sense of innocence. Basically, exoneration means to forgive and forget, as the old saying goes, but
hold on there, Claire. This is where I think we...
This is what Mama said, not me.
Yes, Mama. This is where we part company lovingly with Mama, because biologically speaking, it's not possible unless, of course,
To forget.
we have amnesia. But I understand where he's coming from. We use it to help people understand that over time, it will have a less and less impact on you, and we'll explain that later. So we just want to make sure that you understand the forgive and the forget, which is often used. It is not possible to forget the injury. Go ahead, Claire.
So, forgive and forget, as the old saying goes. When you exonerate someone, he went on, it's as if the harmful action never took place at all.
So this clarifies it. It's as if. Okay. Now, as you would be aware, Claire, part of the reason it can be so difficult to forgive those who committed transgression against us is that we believe forgiveness always means wiping the slate clean. That isn't necessarily the case. Because there are 3 types of situations in which exoneration is appropriate. And I would be happy if our listening audience and viewers would pay attention so that you would tell me that you left this program with this in mind, giving you a better chance to get the $200 at the end of this month that is coming on so quickly. So number one, the hurtful situation was a complete accident for which no fault or blame can be applied. I hope you get it. We are further explaining exoneration. We said there are three types of situations in which exoneration is appropriate. Remember, when you exonerate someone, it is as if the harmful action never took place at all. We will permit you to keep in mind, forgive and forget, but knowing that it's not actually possible to forget. But we'll just use that for the program's sake. So keeping that in mind, number one, the hurtful situation was a complete accident for which no fault or blame can be applied. We all make mistakes. Oh, we love that, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the appropriate response to such failings is to forgive completely. When people are culpable, Claire, that's when we use this statement, we all make mistakes. That goes without question. But we must not use it conveniently. We must keep that in mind at all times, especially when others are culpable, not only when we are at fault. We got that, Kida?
Yep, most definitely.
Right. Now, number two, the person who committed the offense is a child or someone who wasn't capable of understanding the implication of their actions. In these situations, the person wronged also holds positive or loving feelings towards the offender. So that's where I hope you keep in mind we are expanding on exoneration and explaining the situations, the three situations where it's applicable. Number three, the person who hurt you is truly sorry and takes full responsibility for his or her actions. They don't make excuses. They ask for forgiveness, and they also provide you with the necessary confidence. Say that with me, Kira, the necessary confidence.
The necessary confidence.
Yes, they provide you with that, the necessary confidence that the bad action on your part will not be repeated in the future. See how important
So
that
you,
is?
you actually believe that they will not repeat the action.
That's right.
Right.
But is that practical?
That's human beings. And
Yes, as human beings, we never know
we never
the
know.
state of our mental health.
But at least I understand how that really hurt you. I understand how much I cost you.
Mhm.
I am going to try my best not
To
to
repeat.
repeat that behavior.
But to say I will never.
That word is for God alone. Yeah. Okay. So an apology, I believe that even in the event of an accident, an apology and asking for forgiveness can go a long way towards facilitating exoneration, Claire.
Mhm.
Even if it's an accident, you running down the stairs, you step on somebody's shoes, you didn't mean to do that, but an apology, not forgive me. That does not apply there. An apology. I'm so sorry. Can I do anything? I notice I damaged your shoe. Can we get it repaired? Can I buy you a new one? That shows that you're sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Remember, we use that word forgiveness quite often on the media. And I've heard quite a few debates about it. Some say that it's easy for them to forgive others.
Mm-hmm.
Some say that's one thing, I forgive people right away, no matter what they do to me. This is not what the scripture says. And Dr. Mama here is not suggesting that. And we have one Dr. Augsburger to quote. He's not suggesting that either. And I'm not suggesting that. And I've found myself in the position where I've released somebody. The person never asked for forgiveness, but we come into that.
But I remember a case where the kids were very young, and I think my daughter and my son were playing. My son did something to her, and our son did something to her, and he asked, "Can you forgive me?" And she said to him, "I will forgive you, but I will never forget." I was listening to the conversation. They were very young at the time.
Yes. In that context, the tone of voice would say, "I will forgive you, but I am going to purposely keep it in mind for some future vengeance." So that's not forgiveness. So that's a good example, Claire, that you brought up here. It is not possible, as we said, to forget something completely. When I was in St. Vincent a long time ago, I was pushed against a window and my hand went through the glass pane, and I got 3 cuts, St. Vincent. Now, I didn't remember it until you said what you said. I didn't remember it existed. The scars are there. It was out of mind, but I didn't forget it. As soon as something that is applicable came up, I remembered it. So we are saying that, but right now,
So how do you feel when you remember it?
the impact it had, I remember the guy pushing me and going through the window. I almost lost my life because it almost cut the main vein in my wrist. The doctor said I was so fortunate. But I don't remember it anymore. When I looked at my hand, it has less and less impact on my thinking and
But it's
feelings.
still lodged somewhere in your memory.
In
because
your subconscious is
yes,
there.
It would come.
But the
therefore.
impact is different, just like when true forgiveness, we come into that in a while, we're working our way to something very interesting. When true forgiveness comes into play, you see the person, it does not have the initial uneasiness about it, or anxiety, that state of uneasiness that you would experience initially. It will have less and less impact on you. We need to go along because we have to open the lines to give our listeners a chance, not only to get at their $200 at the end of the month, which we'll be happy to give you because we want to know that you're listening. But those of you, some of you, we want to know that you appreciate the program, and then the sponsors will be hearing you and they know, okay, let's keep the healing process on air. So, Claire, we can go back to the 3 areas Dr. Mama suggested that exoneration applies. Quickly, can you recap for us?
Okay, it's the hurtful situation was a complete accident for which no fault or blame can be applied. We all make mistakes, and sometimes the appropriate response to such failings is to forgive completely. Number 2, the person who committed the offense is a child or someone who wasn't capable of understanding the implications of their actions. In these situations, the person wronged also holds positive or loving feelings toward the offender. And number 3, the person who hurt you is truly sorry and takes full responsibility for his or her actions. They don't make excuses, they ask for forgiveness, and they also provide you with the necessary confidence that the bad action will not be repeated in the future. So in summary, the offense was a genuine accident. The person sincerely apologizes and takes responsibility, and you believe that they won't repeat the harm.
So here we have it. In these 3 situations, Dr. Mama feels that it is essential for the wronged individual to accept the offender's apology and grant them the full forgiveness of exoneration. And doing so will lead both people or both parties to feel a lot better, whereas failing to offer forgiveness can actually be harmful to the wrong person's well-being. Furthermore, not being willing to forgive may signal that there is something more wrong with you than with the person who hurt you. When walking the street, you see that person. Now we're speaking about the person going through the process that Jesus Christ prescribed. The person came to you the person apologized, the person actually identified where they hurt you, how they hurt you. They identify that they understand what it cost you, and that person is asking you, begging you for forgiveness. I'm really sorry, and you refuse to forgive them. Every time you see that person on the street, anxiety will take hold of you, your blood pressure will rise, you will pay for it in the long run. Remember, it's not just somebody hurting you, they never come to ask you for forgiveness. If that person meets the criteria for forgiveness, you're being asked, and it's up to you. You're free. You have a central nervous system that is blessed with the ability of making choices. But it's up to you. Do you want to enjoy the bliss of forgiveness, the freedom of forgiveness?
It's going to benefit you in the long run.
In the long run, or you want to go wrong with an anxiety every time, or a state of uneasiness every time you meet with the person. Now, Claire, let's move on to Mama's second point for forbearance. Could you share that with us, please?
Okay, we come to forbearance, and this second level of forgiveness applies when an offender either makes a partial apology or lessens their apology by suggesting that you are also partially to blame for their wrongdoing. So the blame game is going on.
Yeah.
They may even explicitly state that you did something to cause them to behave badly. We hear that quite often.
Yes.
You caused me to do that. If you didn't do that, I wouldn't respond that way. We do not take responsibility for our own actions. We look for somebody to blame. While an apology may be in fact offered here, it's usually not what was hoped for and may feel inauthentic. The often heard, "I'm sorry you feel that way," or "if I did something to upset you, I'm sorry." Forbearance comes into play when the relationship at hand is one that matters to you.
Claire, I'm hoping that our listeners underlined, "if I did something." So they're not acknowledging they
That
did
they did.
something. Our attitude towards God, Lord, if I sin, if I
have
sin against you. Okay.
Yes. So forbearance comes into play when the relationship at hand is one that matters to you. If the person is someone who is important in your life, you should exercise forbearance, even if you bear no responsibility for what happened.
Yes.
And what does forbearance mean? Forbearance means that you should stop dwelling on the offense, release any grudges you hold, and banish all revenge fantasies. We probably speaking to the seas. We probably speaking to a number of persons out there.
Oh,
When
yes.
somebody does something to us, the first thing we think of is revenge. I will get back that person. I will get you back. And we hold grudges. So, however, unlike exoneration, the slate is not wiped completely clean with forbearance. Instead, it's recommended that the person offering forbearance maintain a degree of watchfulness over the other person.
I hope you got that.
This is similar to forgive but don't forget, or trust but verify. So with forbearance, you're able to continue the relationships with people who are important to you, but who may not be fully trustworthy.
Something I appreciated while looking up others and their thoughts and research on forgiveness, Dr. Mama's own life, he said, "When I exercised forbearance was when a relative shared something I told her in confidence with other family members." It's a good example, folks, and it would be good if you pay attention to it. Here is a professional saying, an example, my own life. When I exercised forbearance was when a relative shared something I told her in confidence with another family member. When I confronted her about this behavior, she gave a half-hearted apology along with the excuse of, I quote, "but their family Even after I explained to her that it should be my decision who I do or don't share information with, she objected and insisted that these other family members had a right to know. I forgave her, but I am very guarded about what I share with her now. I only tell her things that I'm okay with other people knowing as well. So the family member made a statement about themselves. So Mama is saying, now I'm going to deal with that family member according to knowledge.
Yes.
Right. So in
the
some
trust has been affected.
yes. In some instances, forbearance is a temporary situation. If the person who hurt you maintains good behavior for a long enough period of time, they may be able to earn back your trust so they can start climbing your trust ladder again. They are responsible for having worms in their trust ladder. You started climbing it in a relationship, otherwise, work relationship, romantic relationship, marital relationship. You start climbing their trust ladder, only to find out the fourth rung had worms in it. And they want you to climb again. I patched it. You can trust me. So you would not just start climbing rapidly. You would now tentatively, because you don't trust them. You don't trust the ladder. And again, when you reach the sixth, it collapses. Trust would be very, very difficult from here on. But it's your responsibility and my responsibility to prove that our trust ladder could be climbed again. It's our responsibility. And we must know that when there are holes or worms in our trust ladder, we make it very difficult for people to climb it. And we are the ones to be blamed. You don't go about saying, my wife doesn't trust me, my husband doesn't trust me, when they trusted you, only to find out there were worms somewhere along your trust ladder. Are you with me on that, Kina?
Oh, yeah, most definitely I am.
And yes, sometimes people demand that we trust them.
Oh, yeah.
When they are busy making statements about themselves, I am not worthy of being trusted. And it's their responsibility to build their trust ladder in such a way that people can climb it safely. All
I
right.
have to agree.
So if a person who hurt you maintains good behavior for a long period of time, Mama went on to say, they may be able to earn back your trust. If this happens, forbearance can give way to the full forgiveness of exoneration. The time required for this to happen will vary, and some relationships will always require cautious and watchful approach, as I said. For example, many adult children are able to forgive their parents for past negative actions perpetrated during childhood, but they remain wary whenever they engage with them. This may be because the parent never fully accepted responsibility for previous wrongs, and it may also be due to poor behavior in more recent interactions. In either case, exoneration is not merited, but forbearance enables the relationship to continue on a healthier or more positive ground. Now we come to
Well,
release.
before you go on, speaking about parents, some of us as parents, we have the notion that we should not apologize to our children. I am the parent. I should not apologize. But you're actually being a role model to that child.
It is more pungent in Creole. C'est moi qui fais, moi pas qu'à point pièce apology. I'm sure you've heard that, listeners, especially from St. Lucia.
So as a parent, you're actually teaching the child who may one day become a parent themselves
Yes.
that we all make mistakes. The Bible tells us conflict will come. And so I'm a parent, I made a mistake. I can apologize to you. And so you're actually teaching the child how to deal with life later on.
In the relationships,
in their relationships, in their various relationships. Yes.
Okay, so we come to release. Very, very important aspect, because persons keep on asking, but that individual, okay, I understand the teaching of Jesus as reflected in the many other religious organizations all over the world, the leading religious organizations. They adhere to that, Buddhism, Sikhism, the works. they hold on to forgiveness. But when somebody does not follow the criteria, what do I do? When people ask that, people are hurting. How do I go ahead? How do I move ahead with my life? We come to release. Release is the lowest level of forgiveness and applies to situations in which the person who hurt you has never acknowledged any wrongdoing. I hope we caught that. Release is the lowest level of forgiveness and applies to the situations in which the person who hurt you has never acknowledged any wrongdoing. He or she has either never apologized or has offered an incomplete or insincere apology. If I have hurt you, well, I don't see anything wrong in that, but since you asked me to apologize, I apologize. This is ridiculous. It's not sweet. It's not heartful. It's shameful. Apology or not, no reparation have been given, and the perpetrator has done little or nothing to improve the relationship. Some examples of where release may be applied include survivors of child abuse, business people cheated by partners, betrayal by friends or relatives. And even though it is hard for us to forgive people in these types of situations, Dr. Mammer again believes that we should in fact do so. The solution here is release, which is a much lower level of forgiveness than exoneration or even forbearance. With release, you don't even need to continue the relationship, but you do need to let go of your bad feelings and preoccupation with the negative thing that happened to you. Release demands that you stop defining yourself by the hurt done to you. I don't deserve for somebody to marry me again. I was raped, or I did that in my life. Somebody that I don't deserve. So release demands that you stop defining your life by the hurt done to you. Somebody is supposed to define their life by what they did to you, not you. And it allows you to let go of the burden placed upon your psyche, your thinking processes. This burden is like a silent tax that weighs you down and erodes your ability to be happy and enjoy peace of mind. After all, we are bowing out of life stage so quickly. We need to do something quickly about our hurt feelings so that we can enjoy life to the fullest.
Yes, and we're speaking about personal freedom here.
Yes.
You need to have that freedom to become who you're supposed to be, not to look down on yourself, and so you sabotage the potential that you have. You're not able to fulfill your purpose. You may have some skills in some area, but because of low self-esteem as a result of your abuse past,
Yes.
something traumatic that you have experienced in your past as a child, as a young adult, or even as an adult, you allow that to identify who you are right now, and you need to be free from these because you're not the guilty party.
Yes.
So we're speaking about personal freedom, letting go without reconciliation. That's what we're speaking about.
Now, shall we go into one of false forgiveness? Because it's time for us to open the line, or we should. It's not too long.
Yes,
I think we should
yes,
wrap
we
it up
should.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Very important. So remember, if you do not release the pain and anger and move past dwelling on old hurts and betrayals, you are essentially allowing the person who hurt you to live rent-free inside your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Holding on to past hurts and betrayals means that you continue to relive the original event over and over and over again, which takes a strong toll on your enjoyment of life. In contrast, release liberates you from the tyranny of re-experiencing your traumatic past and enables you to move on with your life. This takes us to one up of false forgiveness.
But before you go on, just to summarize, when we speak of release, we're speaking about cases where the person never apologizes to you and the relationship is broken or unsafe. and you need to move on for your own peace of mind.
Your own.
Yes.
Okay, so one-up or false forgiveness?
Now you're through with Dr. Mama's
Yes, we're looking at Dr.
points. You're looking at your
Dr.
points.
Augsburger and my points. When forgiveness involves persons denying they are angry. False forgiveness.
How do you feel? I'm not angry. I'm okay.
I'm okay. But they're not okay.
Yes.
In the case of a marital relationship, there is unfaithfulness. Sometimes the spouse might want to forgive the individual quickly, hoping that they might be able to control the person, as we will see later. So they quickly fall into each other's arms. I forgive you. And 2 days later, what you thinking of? Where you came from? I saw you looking at. And they are miserable. False forgiveness is something you like to keep your mind on to avert. So when forgiveness involves persons denying that they are angry, when it involves people behaving as though it never happened, they suppress that. When forgiveness involves persons smiling as if it's not hurting, faking as though it is out of memory. Augsburger agrees in his book, Caring Enough Not to Forgive, says, don't depend upon it, for it's a fantasy you will never enjoy. He explains when forgiveness puts us in a one-up, or I am now above you, or I am now in a superior position in the relationship, or I am the benefactor of freedom for you, I am the generous one in the relationship, the giver of dignity because I forgive you. He said, don't give it. Don't accept it. What is the reason, you ask? It sends the message, Kina, that from now on, because I forgive you, Kina, we will now be in a relationship based on you always remembering my help in the hour of your need, my generosity in the face of your guilt. You have to be forever grateful. From this day forward, you are my bond slave. So we need to be very careful with one-up forgiveness. It is not forgiveness. It's somebody tying you up for the rest of your life because they released you over debt. Don't do that to yourself.
Life.
This is indeed a miserable life.
Yes.
And it happens in marital relationships when there's unfaithfulness. One did not count the cost. You didn't sit down. That's something we'll have to deal with later on. Counting the cost before you release.
Are you? I forgive.
Because there's a cost to the injury. If you're going to forgive somebody, it means you are going to absorb the cost of the injury. I will further expand on that probably another time. For now, we want to interact with our listeners. We want to make sure that somebody gets the $200. So call us now. Kina, this is over to you.
So, all right, listeners, we want to hear from you. What stood out to you? Do you have a question for Dr. Phil or Clarissa? Or maybe you've been struggling with forgiveness yourself. We'll take 5 callers today. And as Dr. Phil says, your name goes into that box for that monthly draw. The number is to call 572-9710. That number again, 572-9710 or 287-0971. So whilst we wait for the calls, Dr. Phil, there's so many things that you and Claire mentioned early inside the program. What forgiveness really is, and it's not excusing the behavior or denying or forgetting it,
Right.
and acknowledging, the guilt, but choosing not to let resentment define us. That really spoke to my soul, and
Okay.
I thought about it deeply. And many times people in our lives have hurt us, and I love the analogy that you gave as well of a child and
Yes.
having a child and what a child may have done. Oh, we're getting a caller. 1 second. Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Good morning.
How about you?
Fine, thank you.
Talk to
Good
us.
morning, Dr. Phil.
Yes, our time is running and we want
morning.
5 calls. Good morning.
Good
Yeah.
morning.
Good morning, Sister. Thanks for accepting my call.
You're welcome.
Dr. Phil, I don't know which one comes first, whether it's forbearance, forgiveness, or trust. I don't know which one comes first. But let me be brief. Because with my spouse, I've been telling her I'm not being truthful to her. But I want to come to you as a counselor, and I have to tell her the truth about me in her present and you there. So I
Okay.
don't know how she'll feel by me telling her the truth there right now when I've been telling her lies all the time.
Okay,
Thank you.
she might be listening to you right now.
Okay.
And you should have taken my number,
Thank you.
730-9009. And probably what you can do, come for some guidance from me first. And so that we would know how to stabilize her and prepare her heart for any sort of behavior that might really cause further damage. Okay? So take the number 730-9009. That's if you want to get in touch with us for counseling. But we put your name in the box. I
Yes.
guess, yeah.
Thank you so much for calling. If you have a question for Dr. Phil, you could call 572-9710. There's something that you want to share that really stood out for you. Call us 2870971, 2870971, or 572-9710. And you also mentioned Dr. Osberg as well, and the concept of false forgiveness. And I think a lot of us, Dr. Phil and Claire, will live in that space even after we've said that, you know what,
Yes.
I forgive you, because the hurt is still lingering.
That's
You know,
right.
you really, really and truly want to forgive the person, but you are still hurting. And it's in that space where more damage is done.
That's right. For months after, might be sleeping and you get an elbow, what you thinking of? The person might have a dream and I dreamt, or they may see somebody, watch a television program, and they're at you. The forgiveness has not been processed properly.
And it's important to engage a counselor, professional counselor, who can go through the process with you. Because there are times you would want to say something to the spouse, but it would not really help the situation. It is better you have a session with your counselor and speak your mind, and you know he or she is not a judge.
Right.
They're not judges, so you can speak your mind and ventilate your
And the
feelings.
environment would be geared to helping the person process their feelings rather than breaking down at home and you get at each other.
And speaking to the one who did you the hurt,
Yes.
who hurt you, it's not
With-
going to work.
Without being disturbed. In the
Right.
counseling environment, you would not be disturbed.
Yes.
Please call us, folks. Don't.
572-9710 or 2870971. Dr. Phil or Claire, we all have someone who have hurt us in ways we can't quite forget.
Yes.
How do we start forgiving when the memory itself still stings?
Yes. Number one, as we suggested in the beginning, you have to acknowledge that there was an injury and that you're not pretending it does not exist. Shouldn't. We should process it, even if we have to throw the kitchen sink at our spouse. But you let them know, because there's a cost. If you're going to forgive, Kina, you're saying, I am going to absorb the cost on my own.
Right.
Let me give you an example. Suppose you come home with your vehicle and you hit my vehicle in the garage while you're trying to park. And you just come and you say to me, Dr. Phil, I would like you to forgive me. What is it that I'm forgiving you? I will ask you, what did you do? I hit your car. What do you think is the first thing I should do? Because you tell me, forgive me.
Forgive you, yeah.
Suppose I tell you, yes, I forgive you. And when I go by the road, the whole chassis is bent and I cannot afford to.
Yes.
Assess the situation.
Yeah.
So the first response is, Kina, let me go and have a look. So when I go by the road, I look, I see that you broke a light, but I have a spare one there. I kept that
Right.
in mind. So I can, the surface of the vehicle is not damaged, it's just the light broken. In my mind, I have one there. I can afford to release her.
Right.
So yes, I can forgive you. Now, when I forgive you, let us say I had to rush into the city it was dark.
Mm-hmm.
And a police officer caught me and they charged me. If I go back to you,
1 second, we're getting another call.
yes, please call us. Don't let us leave with the
Hi, hello,
$200.
good morning, May. How are you? Good afternoon,
Good
actually.
morning.
Good afternoon,
I'm
May.
doing good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, actually.
Okay.
What stood out for you, darling? Do you have a question?
No, I have something to say about forgiveness.
Go ahead.
Yes. I have a sister-in-law who was very sick, and we were not on talking terms. But I'm away, and she's back home. And, you know, she's the kind that is like vexation to the soul. But one morning, I was in the shower, and I'm like, I mentioned her name, and I
Let
said,
me ask you a question.
forgive you.
Hang on.
Yes.
You sure if your sister is hearing exactly what you're saying right now, she'll be happy with you?
No, listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yes. So, and she was very sick. So she was not my sister, she was my sister-in-law.
Okay.
So my sister called me and said, this person is very sick and she may not make it. I'm like, oh, really? So one morning, I felt nothing, no pity, no compassion. But one morning I was in the shower and I'm like, no, this is not right. And I mentioned her name and I said, I forgive you. Later, I see my sister put in our chat group, she passed away. I'm like, oh my God, a good thing I said I forgive her. So forgiveness is not only for the person, it's for you and the person.
This forgiveness does not apply here more than release. Yeah, because if you listened from the beginning, the reference that we usually make is the Bible, where Jesus spoke about forgiveness, where he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. This is often referenced, but the first one, Father, forgive them for what they do, is not Jesus saying, forgive them. He is asking, he's praying, asking the Father to forgive these people that are ignorant about what they are doing. So later on, as you and I repent, because we are involved there, as we repent, Father honors that prayer of Jesus, and we meet the criteria and we are forgiven. But when somebody does something to you that makes you unhappy, forgiveness doesn't come into play if the person doesn't come and ask you for forgiveness. But as Dr. Mama highlighted, and I agree, releasing the person, that is more appropriate. It's better you release that. Okay, sweetheart?
Yes.
Okay.
Remember we said in that case the person never apologizes, so the relationship is still broken and unsafe. But you need to move on for your peace of mind.
Yeah, but that's what I did, and then I'm like.
But voicing, I forgive you or I release you for Jesus' sake is therapeutic to you. So that's okay for you, but it is not really forgiveness. It is releasing the person.
It is releasing, okay.
Yes. All right then.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
you know
Have a
your
good
name
day,
goes in
all
the
of
box
you.
though.
Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, yeah. You're welcome. Have a good one.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Huh?
And you may have the tendency to have a bitterness against the person as a result
Yes.
of the hurt that they've caused you.
The time
You
is
have to be-
ticking
you
by,
have to be
folks, so
careful with that.
let's hear your voice.
We've gotten 2 calls so far from Mr. Sylvester and May. The numbers to call 572-9710. Please tell us what stood out for you. If you have a question for Claire or Dr. Phil, please do so. Dr. Phil, Claire, I was also reflecting on how sometimes people think forgiveness is weakness. We hear that a lot too. And how do you explain that forgiveness can actually be strength?
People who believe that forgiveness is easy, people say, well, I find it easy to forgive people. It means they don't understand the philosophy behind that word.
Right.
We explained in the beginning where it came from, its origin. And so they believe that just saying, I forgive you, it's easy.
Yeah.
But it involves confronting the individual. Okay, if I hurt you, you need to come to me. If you're aware of it, I'm not aware of it. You did so and so to me.
Right.
Explain it. And I have a responsibility especially if I'm a follower of the instructions of Jesus Christ, I have a responsibility to make you know that I understand the cost it is for you. Yes, thank you for coming to me. I realized that I cost you $3,000 of damage.
Right.
I'm so sorry about it. What can I do for you now to forgive somebody $3,000? You understand?
Yes,
It's not
yes,
easy.
yes,
You
yes.
might
It's
be
not easy.
in a
No.
financial situation yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Again, let us say you owe me, Kina,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say you owe me $3,000,
Right.
and you promise to bring it back. But then your child, you have a child, that child got injured. I don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the money, you were taking it to me, but your child was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
You paid the doctor's bill with that. Your child lived. We will continue on that, huh?
We have another caller. Good morning. How are you, Colleen?
Hello, good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm
Good
doing
morning.
great, thanks.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning to you, my dear.
Good morning.
What really stood out to me today is forgiveness is not the same as excusing wrongdoing. And when you forgive someone, there's no room for resentment.
Beautiful.
That's right.
Beautiful.
So much.
And I also have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you think that if someone did you something wrong and they don't want to acknowledge it, do you think that they also dwell on it, or does it also affect them, or no, they just forget about it? Thank you. I'll listen off the air.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, since we can't read people's mind, and human thinking, human behavior is so complex, we would not know if the other person is thinking about it. Some people are wicked, some people don't care, their conscience are not sensitive as it should be, so they would hurt you and they would not think about it, they would not dwell on it.
And you're responsible for your own happiness.
Right.
Yes.
So you just don't know what the other person is thinking. You just
Yes.
don't know what. You know how you feel, you know that you're hurt. Yes.
There we are.
Dr. Phil, we've all have moments when we see individuals that have been hurt, and for them, anger seems easier than finding peace. We have a lot of people walking, and then vengeance becomes their portion.
Yes.
What would you say to someone listening right now that's holding on to that, anger instead of finding peace, because they figure, you know what, that person did me wrong, and I rather hold on to that till I die?
This is why one of the reasons for us being where we are in our country, every day we have spits of murder and people hurting one another. It stems from vengeful feelings, persons hurt members of people's family, and people harbor that, they keep that on the inside, waiting for the appropriate time, and they take vengeance. We have avarice. People are greedy. They're not satisfied with such things as they have. So they break into people's homes, they tie people up, they steal from them, not knowing that that individual has a brother, father, an uncle. And that person says, I am going to take vengeance. So while we're looking for the answers for crime, we are not looking at persons or the person in the mirror doing some damage to somebody in the past, not realizing that person had family members. So you're saying, how do we get rid of this feeling somebody hurt us? If we don't get rid of the feelings, this is what's going to continue to happen in the family, in our country, and in the globe at large. Remember that I'm going to come to your question, but I want to bring it to our attention. Remember, the First World War was started in Serbia. A Serbian nationalist, he killed one Franz, what's his name, Archduke. And as a result, 16 million people got killed. again, don't ask for the Second World War that was started in Poland by Germany. So when we keep vengeance in our hearts, I am going to repay, then we walk the streets as angry people. We get sick, we don't realize that. That we get so sick we cannot think rationally, mentally anymore. So we do things that normally we wouldn't do. Somebody would just, okay, that person raped my sister, I'm going to rape his grandmother. That's not rational
it's not
thinking,
right.
and we
Rational
have
thinking
had
at
that.
all.
So it is very important, Kina, to know that and to deal with that as early as possible, because it's going to affect you, it's going to affect your family, it's going to affect your nation as we're having now. The answer is to process hurt. Remember what Jesus said? Offense is welcome. It's unavoidable. But it's you to make a statement about yourself.
Right.
All right, folks.
Before we close, just one final question. Dr. Phil or Claire, I would love both of you if you could answer. Can small daily acts do you think that small daily acts of letting go really build into full forgiveness over time?
Small acts of releasing, letting go,
Right.
can build. Well, forgiveness starts with counting the cost of the injury. So if just letting it go a little bit at a time or small acts, it may not lead to forgiveness. Releasing gives you peace of mind, but it does not take care of the fact that the injury has been done.
Right.
If the person does not ask for forgiveness, then you want to feel free again, to live again, release gives you that opportunity. According to Dr. Mama's definition, it gives you that opportunity to, in your mind, I am not going to allow that to control me. I am going to release it, but you might wish to get help from outside of yourself, from somebody from the helping community.
Yes.
Speaking about the person who did you the harm or the hurt, if you have an opportunity to do good to the person, you should do it if you said that you've forgiven the person. So it will help you get over the situation. You get an opportunity to, the person falls down in the street, you help them up. There's a need and you know you can assist the child of the person.
Yes.
You be the bigger person.
Yes.
You're the one who said, I forgive you. That's why we said you counted the cost. You knew that when I say I forgive, I should not hold bitterness and resentment. But when it comes, I think we need divine intervention in some of those cases.
That's right.
Because in some cases, God alone that can help us in situations where the mind is playing tricks on us, where we cannot control the way we think. It's like we're going back into the past, especially if we were deeply hurt, like an abuse or something like that. And it really plagues our mind. So we need divine intervention. But if we really want to be free, personal freedom, if we really want that, any opportunity we get to do good, even to the one who harmed us, I think God would be pleased with us to do that.
Yes. As we close, we're hoping we can get one more call. We do not want to leave here today without knowing that persons want the $200. But more
I think our
so,
time is gone.
it is. All right. So, folks, we hope that you can leave with this, that when it comes to forgiveness, it's not just saying, I forgive you. It's much deeper than that. It is an assessment of the damage, the cost